We had seen solubility of solid solute in a liquid solvent. We'll see now solubility of factors affecting solubility of a gas in a liquid solvent. Now, first point to be noted here, which is very important, on which question is asked, the gas which chemically react with liquid is more soluble. This is very important. It is asked which gas is more soluble in a liquid. The gas which chemically react with the liquid is more soluble. Now here we will see the factors affecting it. Number one is nature of gas. Since gas is solute here, nature of gas. Now we had already seen that the gas which is chemically reacting is getting easily soluble, and the gas which cannot react, if it is chemically reacts with the liquid, then it is soluble. If it is not reacting chemically, then it is less soluble. Second point is temperature, effect of temperature. Now if temperature is increased, then solubility will be decreased. In case of gases, if temperature is increased, solubility decreases. Why? Because dissolution of a gas in a liquid is always exothermic. Dissolution of gas in a liquid is always exothermic. That means here solute is your gas is solute, your solvent is liquid, both get dissolved and form solution. So we'll find that there is release of heat here. So already heat is released, heat is evolved, and we are increasing the temperature, that means heat is provided to the system, then solubility will decrease. So here one question is asked, why aquatic animals are more comfortable in cold water rather than in warm water? Aquatic animals are more comfortable, they can live comfortably in cold waters rather than in warm water. Why? It is because aquatic animals respire or breathe the oxygen dissolved in water, and this oxygen get dissolved in water at low temperature. More amount of oxygen will be dissolved in cold water rather than hot water, because dissolution of a gas in a liquid is exothermic. So since exothermic, so in cold water, oxygen concentration of oxygen in cold water will be more than the hot water, so or warm water. So they are more comfortable in cool water. Third is effect of pressure. Third factor is pressure. So pressure, gases are easily compressible because they have negligible force of attraction and they have the larger spaces between their particles. So solubility increases if pressure is increased, because they are highly compressible. So if pressure is increased, the gas can be compressed and solubility increases. So here the three factors. If the gas is chemically reacting with the liquid solvent, then it is more soluble. If temperature is increased, solubility decreases because dissolution is exothermic. If pressure is increased, then solubility increases because the gases are highly compressible. If we draw a graph for the temperature and solubility of the gas, we'll see that the solubility of oxygen and solubility of nitrogen is like this. It is decreasing with the increase in the temperature. Now next is Henry's law. To see the effect of pressure on the solubility of a gas is governed by the Henry's law. Effect of pressure on the solubility of gas in liquid solvent is governed by Henry's law. Henry's law, what does it state? Statement: mass of the gas dissolved per unit volume of solvent at a constant temperature is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas in equilibrium with the solution. That means how much gas will be soluble? It depends on the pressure. If pressure is more, then more concentration of gas can be dissolved in the given amount of the solution or solvent. Or you can also define it: at a constant temperature, the solubility of gas is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. So how mathematically we will give? Mass of the gas is directly proportional to the pressure applied, or solubility is also increases with the increase in the pressure of the gas. So just once more a statement: mass of the gas dissolved per unit volume of the solvent at a constant temperature is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. Or you can say also, at constant temperature the solubility of a gas in liquid is directly proportional to the pressure. If we take mass is directly proportional to P, so mass, on removing proportionality sign, it will be Kp, where K is the proportionality constant, P is the pressure, M is the mass of the gas. Mass of gas is M and P is the pressure of the gas. Now as per Dalton, just I am taking the Dalton's law here. As per Dalton, the partial pressure of the gas in a vapor phase is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in the solution. Here Dalton related partial pressure of the gas. Partial pressure of the gas is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in the solution. That is, X is directly proportional to P. If we remove the proportionality, then there will be another constant K dash P. X is mole fraction. So Henry's law can also be stated. Third statement for Henry's law. Henry's laws can also be stated: mole fraction of a gas in solution is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas. Mole fraction of the gas is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas. That is, X is directly proportional to P. X equals to K dash P, then X upon K dash is equals to P. Now 1 upon K dash is taken as another constant KH, capital KH. So this will become KH X equals to P. This is the mathematical relation for the Henry's law. KHX P, that is P equals to KHX. KH is what? Henry's constant. KH is Henry's constant. If value of KH is higher, then solubility of KH will be lower. If KH is more, then solubility of gas will be lesser. If KH is less, then solubility of a gas is more. So as per Henry's law also, the amount of gas dissolved in a solution, dissolved in a liquid solvent to form a liquid solution is depending on the value of KH. So for oxygen, the value of KH in cold temperatures or at cold environment will find that KH is lesser, so solubility will be more. So aquatic animals are more comfortable in the cold water rather than hot water. Now we'll see limitations of Henry's law. What are the limitations of Henry's law? Now Henry's law is valid. It is valid if pressure is low. Now as we have seen that if pressure is more, mole fraction of gas dissolved will be more, or mass of gas dissolved will be more. Though pressure should be higher, but it should not cross the limit. So we'll find if it is very high pressure, then Ka shows the considerable deviation from the Henry's law. Second is if temperature is not too low. If temperature is not too low. Though Henry's law states that at low temperature and at high pressure solubility will be more, but still the temperature should not be very low. If it is very low, again it shows the deviation from Henry's law. Third is gas is soluble when it chemically reacts, but it should not be very or it should not be highly soluble. It should neither chemically react with solvent nor dissociate or associate in the solution. It should not chemically react with the solvent as per for the gases. As per Henry's law, gas should not chemically react with the solvent, or it should not dissociate or associate in the solvent. Dissociation is also not allowed. Association of gas is also not allowed for the dissolution. So Henry's law is having some limitations, though pressure should be high, but it should not be higher than the limit. Temperature should be low, but it should not be very low, it should not be too low. And gases should chemically react as we have seen, but still it should not like this, it should neither dissociate nor associate in the solvent. Now we'll see the applications of Henry's law. Applications of Henry's law. It is used in preparation of aerated beverages. Aerated beverages like cold drinks, soft drinks, like soda water. In this we see that carbon dioxide is dissolved at higher pressure in the liquid solvent. So when we open the bottle of cold drink, carbon dioxide comes out brisk effervescence because the pressure is released when we open it. So it is sealed. The bottles are sealed. Bottles containing aerated beverages are sealed at very high pressure so that carbon dioxide should remain dissolved in water. So in industries, wherever aerated beverages or drinks are made, there Henry's law is followed for sealing of the bottles. Next is, that means production of carbonated beverages is here Henry's law is applicable. Otherwise, if we do not use the Henry's law, carbon dioxide, we want to have more dissolution of carbon dioxide, so Henry's law is followed. At higher pressure, more carbon dioxide will be dissolved in carbonated beverages. Second, in deep sea scuba diving. Deep sea scuba diving. Deep sea diving or scuba diving, it is called as scuba diving. deep sea or scuba diving. In case we have seen scuba divers, they depend on the compressed air. Compressed air contain mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. Mixture of nitrogen and oxygen. They take this compressed air for their respiration when they go in deep sea for diving. So compressed air contains nitrogen. As we have seen, as per Henry's law, more the pressure, more will be the dissolution of gases in the liquid solvent. So as scuba divers go down and down in the sea, with the more depth we will find the solubility of nitrogen and oxygen increases in the blood due to higher pressure over them. So we'll find that more nitrogen and more oxygen is soluble in their blood. When they come out of the sea, as they come towards the surface, we find the pressure is released, pressure is decreased. So nitrogen, oxygen is used in their metabolism, but nitrogen bubbles out of the blood and cell fluids, and this bubbles cause what? It restricts the blood flow. Blood flow is restricted. Their transmission of nerve impulse is disturbed, gets affected. Capillaries burst or block, and we find that tissues may become devoid of oxygen. So this condition is very painful and dangerous. So this condition is called as bends. When they come to the surface, due to release of pressure, nitrogen is bubbled out of the blood and it causes the restriction in blood flow, nerve impulse gets affected, capillaries burst or block, and this condition is very painful and dangerous. This condition is known as bends. So to relieve the scuba divers from the serious condition of bends, they use air diluted with helium. That is, compressed air is diluted with helium. Here helium is 11.7% and nitrogen is 58.2% and oxygen is 32.1%. So we'll find that helium is smaller in size. Atomic size of helium is very small, and when it as the pressure is released, when it comes out of the blood, so it passes through cell wall easily. There is no damage to the tissues and cells, and there is no condition of bends. So to relieve bends, here Henry's law is followed, and helium is used along with the compressed air, and this is now oxygen dissolved in blood causes the metabolism, and there is no condition of bends due to oxygen and helium. So third is, at higher altitudes we'll find mountaineers or the people living at mountains, on the mountains. So they are at higher altitudes. So oxygen, blood contains less amount of oxygen because at higher altitudes air pressure is lesser. Due to lesser atmospheric pressure, oxygen is lesser in the blood. Solubility of oxygen in blood is lesser. So concentration of oxygen in blood is lesser. So these climbers, mountain climbers or the people living at higher altitudes, they are unable to think and becomes weak. This condition is called as anoxia. This condition is called as anoxia. The condition in which the people living at higher altitudes or climbing up at higher altitudes are unable to think and become weak due to less amount of oxygen in their blood. This is known as anoxia. And to relieve anoxia, again they use the compressed air diluted with helium. So here Henry's law is followed. Now last is in the functioning of lungs also. Henry's law is followed. Gaseous exchange between the lungs and blood and tissues depend on the partial pressure and solubility of the gas. gas passes off or diffuses from the region of higher partial pressure to the region of the lower partial pressure. So when they diffuse in the lungs, when we breathe in, they diffuse in the lungs and pass into the blood, because pressure of oxygen is more in the lungs. That oxygen diffuse in the blood, and then blood carries this oxygen to the tissues, where due to high pressure of oxygen in blood, it diffuses in the tissues where or cells where the low pressure is there. Similarly, for release of carbon dioxide from cells and tissues to the blood, cells and tissues have higher pressure of CO2, that to the, and blood is having lower pressure, so it diffuses from high pressure to lower pressure. So from cells or tissues to the blood, and then from blood to the lungs. So this way functioning of lungs also is applicable. Here also Henry's law is applicable. That's all. Practice sheet is attached to the attached with the lecture in the link given. Thanks.